and the coordinator of the Order of the Engineer. It's my distinct honor and profound enthusiasm to extend on behalf of the National Board of Governors of the Order of Engineers heartfelt welcome to each and every one of you to this significant ceremony. I am delighted to share that our ceremony is being live streamed, providing an opportunity for your loved ones to participate in real time from any location. In this era of connectivity, let us embrace the power of technology to transcend the physical boundaries, enabling your dear ones to be part of this celebration, sharing in the joy and success, and creating lasting memories. Please take a moment to share this special occasion with those who matter most. As we embark on this significant event, I would like to acknowledge and express gratitude to the individuals who are assisting in making this ceremony possible. Mr. Tyler Yancey, ExxonMobil and alumni of UTPB Mechanical Engineering, Dr. Zeng, Associate Professor of Petroleum Engineering, Dr. Brian Flowers, Assistant Professor and Coordinator of Chemical Engineering, Dr. M.D. Salahuddin, Assistant Professor and Coordinator of Mechanical Engineering, Dr. Forrest Flopper, Distinguished Associate Adjunct Professor of Mechanical Engineering and the visionary founder of the College of the Engineering. Their dedication and contributions are invaluable, and together we look forward to a memorable and inspiring ceremony. Enjoy this momentous occasion. Before we commence the ceremony, I have the honor to introduce Mr. Tyler Yancey, UTPB alumni and engineer in ExxonMobil, to speak about the importance of the engineering profession. Please, let's welcome him.
And I've got perfect timing. Just walked in. Sorry for coming in a little bit late. How's everybody doing? All right. You must feel amazing right now. First, I want to kick off by telling you guys congratulations. You did it. You did it. Amazing accomplishment. You should feel very, very good about yourselves. What you've proven so far is that you're able to set a goal and finish it. So tonight you will be honored into the Order of the Engineer, but right after this, you're graduating. That's an amazing accomplishment. And you're graduating, and you feel on top of the world, and you're going to be released into the world, and it's time to get to work. And I have some advice for you. So one piece of advice that I'd like to, that I acknowledge and perform myself is, when I have a hard time remembering, I write things down. So that's what happened to me tonight. And so I made slides, so it'll help me out and help me remember. So take that note as you go into your careers. So my first piece of advice is, I want you guys to learn the art of saying yes. Say yes to everything. I guess I probably should have started by introducing myself. But my name is Tyler Yancey, and I'm the chairman for SPE Permian Basin. I'm also a petroleum engineer for ExxonMobil. And most of all, I'm a UTPB Falcon as well. I graduated here in 2013. It was a hard road. So when I first graduated high school, I didn't go to work. I didn't go to school right away. I went to work. Moved to Greenville, South Carolina, and worked pipeline construction. Had no money, had no truck, but I wanted to go to school. So moved out there, worked, saved up my money, and started school at Odessa College. I had a little drum scholarship. It wasn't as much as I thought it was going to be, and wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So yeah, started there. Started working for a company called Linco Electromatic, which later got bought out by Cameron International. So it took me twice as long to finish school. But I finished, and I finished debt-free, and I finished with lots of experience. I tell that story because that's what you're going to have to experience. You know, some of you may already have experience. You got to hustle. You got to grind. If you want that next opportunity, you got to say yes. So once I got into the working industry, I got hired by Chevron. out of school, started working as a petroleum engineer. And I got introduced to working professionals. And then I got introduced to, I saw a lot going on, focused on my job, focused on learning, building my skill sets. And then I started opening my eyes to what was going on around me and what was going on around the company. I wanted to understand what was it like, how do other engineers think? And so I got involved with a group called SPE, stands for Society of Petroleum Engineers. And to be honest with you, when I got asked to be on the board, I didn't want to do it because I was a production engineer, and as a production engineer, it's very, very intense. There's a lot going on. But then I developed this mindset. I watched a lot of motivational videos, and actually heard a speaker talk about this, saying yes. So I did that. I said, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to risk whatever happens. But what I'm not going to risk is missing the opportunity. So look for those organizations when you graduate. When somebody asks you to help on a project, say yes. Somebody asks you to lunch, to talk about work, say yes. Make that time, make that investment. It'll definitely pay off. All right, 100 three-point shots. I was a basketball player growing up, believe it or not. I'm not over 6 foot, but I was pretty good at shooting three-pointers. And I went to a lot of basketball camps. And what they taught us was you got to shoot a lot. So I developed this skill set by shooting 1,000 shots a day. And what I learned from that is whatever you feel right now that you're not good at, I would say you're right. And you're right because you haven't done it enough times. Repetition makes a champion. The more you do it, the better you become. So me here speaking today is quite an achievement for myself because when I graduated, as you know, in school, you do get up and speak in front of a lot of people. You do presentations, but I wouldn't say very often. You do it when it means something. But when you get out into the working industry, I realized very quickly that I was not good at public speaking. So I said yes to a group called Toastmasters International, and they teach you about public speaking. So I started saying yes and yes and yes to doing speeches. You join these clubs, and you do speeches over and over. And like right now, walking up here, I'm glad I kind of walked in late because now I'm not thinking about it. I don't feel as nervous. But when you do speeches over and over, you do things over and over, you become numb to it. You're not thinking about it anymore. You're not thinking about messing up. You're just doing it. And you'll be impressed with yourself as you get better. For example, there's been moments where I'm saying things that I wouldn't have thought of otherwise, and I just feel myself getting better. So 100 three-point shots. Whatever you do in life, do it over and over and over if you want to become the best at it. How many in here know the boxer Floyd Mayweather? I really liked him. A lot of people don't like him. He was kind of a villain, but he was undefeated. And one thing he said that inspired me, he said that if you want to be the best, you got to put in overtime. If you want to be the best, you got to put in overtime. OQP. Learned this from a motivational speaker. His name is Les Brown. It stands for Only Quality People. So who you surround yourself means a lot. I think statistics show that you'll make around $10,000 to $20,000 annual salary in reference to the people you hang around with. So think about that. Maybe some of us need to find better friends, right? If you hang around, Les Brown said his grandma or his mom used to tell him, if you hang around 9 broke people, it's only a matter of time till you're number 10. Find high quality people to hang around with. And the reason that is because you're learning, constantly learning. You can ask them questions. People have come from all over the world, different experiences. So that's how you learn, by asking questions and hanging around with different people. Learning never stops. Kind of like how I opened up here today. I know you feel on top of the world, and you should. It's an amazing accomplishment. But it's actually the beginning of your journey. There's a long ways to go. There's lots of things to learn. When I joined Chevron, I was amazed at so many things to learn. One good thing about Chevron is they will train you. They sent me to a lot of training. So don't worry about what you don't know right now. It's always looking forward. What are you going to learn next? My favorite motivational speaker right now is Deion Sanders. And one thing he talks about is if you want to be successful, you got to master the 3 W's. You got to want it, you got to work it, and then you're going to win it. So if you want it bad enough, you'll work at it. And then it's only a matter of time until you win. So I want to close with a few last pieces of advice is find a mentor. Raise your hand if you know what a mentor means. It's somebody that has experience that will help you, that will give you advice. It doesn't have to be a single person. It doesn't have to be formal. It can be informal. But once you get to that job and you start working, find somebody that can mentor you. Somebody who's been there, done that. So look for those experienced engineers. Ask them questions. You may even go up to them and ask them, hey, can you mentor me on doing decline curve analysis? How do you do it? It's probably one of the most powerful questions you can ask is, how do you do it? What are your thoughts? Right? Always be asking those questions. There are times where you'll feel very, very confident, but always ask questions. Always get a second pair of eyes. It's always good. Join SPE, Society of Petroleum Engineers. So you do, fun fact, stands for Society of Petroleum Engineers, but you do not have to be a petroleum engineer to join. This is where you learn more about the oil and gas industry. This is where you meet industry professionals. And this is how you build that network. Find a leadership opportunity. This is very important. So when you go into those roles at work, you should be looking to lead projects. Last night, 2 nights ago, we had our SPE Awards banquet, and Mayor Midland spoke there. She said something, a very powerful message, if I could remember it correctly. So there's leadership, but before there's leadership, there's something called followership. So in order to be a good leader, first you got to be a good follower, and that's the boat you're in right now. So when you start working, be a good follower. Listen and learn. You're in learning mode. And once you feel confident enough, then you jump into that leadership mode. But look for leadership opportunities. Look for opportunities to save money. Look for opportunities to improve costs. Look for opportunities to save time. That's what companies look for, is how can you add value back into the company. Work on telling your story. This is one thing I learned about the corporate world, is a lot of times as engineers, we're not good talkers, right? Very quiet. We talk with our pencils and papers and our calculators. That's how we talk. The problem with that is not everybody can hear you when you do that. So that's another reason why I jumped into Toastmasters is I had to get better at talking, speaking, selling, because when you have a good idea, you also have to bring a team along with you to initiate those ideas. So you got to work on telling your story about yourself. For those of you that are still looking for jobs at this moment, this is going to be crucial and critical. Get good at telling who you are. Work on your elevator speech. Career services here at UTPB can help you do that. I'm a career champion. I get very involved. Feel free to reach out to me, and I can help in any way that I can. And give you some advice on landing that job. And then lastly, like I talked about earlier, actually one more story. I was at the Salvation Army banquet last year sometime. I told this story at the last ceremony as well. Speaker there was His name was Jason Garrett, former coach for the Dallas Cowboys. And a lot of people were very, very interested in him, very interested in him and his interaction with Jerry Jones, who owns the Dallas Cowboys. And they asked lots of questions. What's he like? Is it true that he tries to control the team and doesn't let you? Your hands are tied a lot of the times. And he said he's very motivational. He's constantly trying to develop his people. He said one time they're at the dinner table and he sees Jerry Jones. He has like a wine glass in his hand or whatever he was drinking, and he sees him doing this. And he's like, "What is he doing?" And then he's doing this, and then all of a sudden he like dips his straw into the drink, and he tells the person he's talking to, he said, "That's how I bought the Dallas Cowboys." And what he was simulating is that he was in the oil and gas industry. He was drilling wells, and what he was simulating is that he drilled multiple dry holes. But he kept trying, and eventually he hit. So when I say apply, I'm not talking about just a job. I'm talking about apply yourself to leadership, apply yourself to learning, apply yourself to succeeding, and eventually you're going to hit it. So once again, I want to congratulate you on all your success in the real world. You're a UTPB Falcon, so I know you're already a winner. I look forward to seeing you in SPE and all your success. Thank you very much.
Dr. Zend will now present the history of the Order of Engineering.
Good afternoon. Now let's appreciate the history of the Order of Engineers. The ceremony presents an opportunity for us to take a bridge and to resettle that the professional purpose of engineering involves the pursuit of a learned art in the spirit of public service by following the acceptance of the obligation. The individual engineer reinforce similar efforts of his or her peers, realizing that in unity there is strength. Dedicated goal, our engineering counterparts in Canada had this same feeling. They believed that a need existed for the introduction of a spirit of brotherhood and sisterhood cohesively over here among engineers. The Canadians believed that a good way to achieve this purpose would be to instill in engineers a consciousness of living to one another, to themselves as individuals and to those whom they serve. Thus, in Canada in 1926 was born what is now known as the ratio of the calling of an engineer. The words of the ratio were written by the English author Rudyard Kipling, who had much depth of feeling for engineers as the builder of things intended to benefit mankind. The Canadian ceremony is designed, impressive, and includes the placing of a wrought iron ring on the small finger of the individual's working hand, and then having them repeat in concert the words of Kipling. It is difficult to visualize any better symbolism than that of a ring, one for all to see, and saying in effect that here is an engineer dedicated to a publicly overt obligation to the profession and to those it serves. In Ohio, similar ideas to those written by Kepler were well established, and correspondence began in October 1953 between the Canadian waters and responsible for the administration of the calling for an engineer and the officers of the Ohio Society of Professional Engineers, with a view to possibly extending the Canadian ceremony to the United States. Due to copyright and other complicating factors, extension of the Russia into the United States was not possible. In 1966, a group of engineers in Ohio with members of several engineering organizations began to pursue the objective of what came to be called the Order of the Ring. While the deliberation of this group were in progress, seniors of Fann College of Engineering and of Cleveland State University, counseled by Dean Burr Bush, designed and held a ring ceremony and reception on June 4, 1970. Each participant signed a creed and received a plain stainless steel ring placed on the small finger of his or her working hand. 170 engineering seniors and engineering faculty members took part in this first ceremony. Since then, the movement has spread rapidly throughout the country. Such is the story of an increasing acceptance of the Order of the Engineer as it is known in the United States today. It is patterned on the Canadian concept, but with the stainless steel ring symbolizing strength and unity of the profession and then providing an identifying mark of an engineer. Thank you. It's quite long. And my glasses are working very well.
Thank you, Dr. Zeng, so much. I would like now to ask Dr. Flowers to describe to you the significance of the application of the engineering rank.
Thank you. Candidates for the order, guests, and friends. The Order of the Engineer, to which you will soon belong, is an independent organization. The purpose is to foster a feeling of pride in and dedication to that profession which binds us together. You are asked to accept, with pride, the meaning of the ceremony to which you are about to subscribe. The obligation should be freely given, and the responsibility gladly accepted. The order is symbolized by the acceptance of an obligation and the wearing of a stainless steel ring on the little finger of the working hand. The obligation is the formal statement of an engineer's responsibilities to the public and to the profession. It is a creed, similar to the oath attributed to Hippocrates, that is commonly taken by medical graduates and which sets forth an ethical code. The obligation, likewise, contains parts of the canon of ethics of major engineering societies. Initiates, as they voluntarily accept it, pledge to uphold the standards and dignity of the engineering profession and to serve humanity by making the best use of Earth's precious and limited resources. The obligation emphasizes the fact that we, as engineers, have certain obligations. It promotes honesty and integrity and recognizes that today's engineers are dependent on their predecessors for their skills.
Dr. Udin will now present the significance of the rank.
Congratulations. You guys are going to be engineers, And as engineers, we always ask why. Why are we doing this? What is the impact of that? What is the significance of that? Right? If you ask what is the significance of this event, I would say this will remind you that you are an engineer and you have an obligation to the society. What is that obligation? There are so many. Just to remind one that our resources are limited. We are sitting on top of oil and gas reservoir here, and then we're driving trucks 90 miles per hour. But do you know the speed that was maximum 100 years ago in US? 30 miles per hour. What happens if we deplete all the oil and gas in the world? We're going to go back to 30? Walk from one end to the other end of the world? So the problem is we have to think about sustainable solutions, right? That's another problem. So the issue we have to address. So you'd not be happy if your dad leave nothing for you, and then no property, no money at all. So the generations coming up to next, and they don't find any oil and gas, and they complain like our previous generation consumed all. What are you gonna do? Okay, one solution could be, let's say, go and dig on Mars and bring property from there, minerals from there, and burn it here. What if you dig all the property from Mars? What next? It keeps going, right? So we have to think about sustainable solutions, how this universe is working. What are the principles? What is the solution that is going to sustain forever? Okay. So let me read that decorum for this event here. Significance of the ring. The ring, a symbol of pride, prestige, honor, and professionalism among all engineers in the United States. Also served as a reminder to the engineer of our obligation to the society. The symbol of our desire to serve the public is the engineer's ring. The ring you will wear on the small finger of your working hand will say to all who see it, here is an engineer, possessed of a publicly avowed dedication to the profession and the public they serve. It is our symbol, wear it for all to see. It is a badge of recognition which will become known to all as a sign of a learned professional, pledged to the making the best use of Earth's precious and limited resources. Thank you all. Goodbye.
Thank you, Dr. Udin. Dr. Flacker will now administer the acceptance of the obligation.
Will all of the candidates and current members of the Order of the Engineer please stand? Candidates, the Order of the Engineer is an independent movement. The purpose is to foster a feeling of pride in and dedication to our profession. Your membership in the Order is symbolized by the acceptance and the obligation and the wearing of the stainless steel ring on the little finger of the working hand. There are no meetings other than this ceremony, and there are no dues. We will now recite the obligation found on the back of the program in unison. I am an engineer. In my profession, I take deep pride. To it, I owe solemn obligations. As an engineer, I pledge to practice integrity and fair dealing, tolerance and respect, and to uphold devotion to the standards and the dignity of my profession, conscious always that my skill carries with it the obligation to serve humanity by making the best use of Earth's precious wealth. As an engineer, I shall participate in none but honest enterprises. When needed, my skill and knowledge shall be given without reservation for the public good. In the performance of duty and in fidelity to my profession, I shall give my utmost. Now, in the presence of your fellow engineers, you will be called forward to come to the right of the stage and sign your certificate, and as an indication of your acceptance to the obligation of the Order as an engineer. You will then place your working hand through the ceremonial ring and receive your ring as an outward sign of your profession. Dr. Al-Zahabi, will you please present the rings to the candidates at the ceremonial ring as they are called? Alexander Cuellar. Ethan Leyva Ramirez. Felix Gonzalez Murillo. Isaiah White. Ivan Torres Lopez. Jennifer Ronald. Joe Toshibi. Leon Ramos. Michelle Martinez. Monse Salazar. And our last candidate, Nathan Lopez.
Thank you, Dr. Flakar, so much. Uh, I welcome each of you to the privileges and obligations of the Order of Engineer. This ring is a reminder of our calling. Your certificate is your creed. It bears your name and signature. It is your pact with your profession. Read it thoughtfully, regard it with humility, wear your ring proudly, and with distinction for you are engineer. I ask the audience to join me in congratulating the newest members of the Order of Engineer. This concludes the Order of Engineer ring ceremony. Everyone is invited to attend an informal reception for the newest member of the Order of Engineer just outside the lobby. Thank you so much for participation. Oh, so before you guys leave, our speaker would like to